families in Twizel, this Christmas, all is not bright. Their sons are off to Australia in search of bigger wages, lower taxes. I'm Carol de Colville, and tonight, their last Christmas in Twizel. Christmas wouldn't be Christmas in Twizel without sallies in the streets, but this year they herald an uncertain new year.
Everything I own, everything I do sort of has revolved around Twizel. I love the place. I don't really want to go, but there's no future left here now. I've got to go.
Here we've got a major social problem and an area problem where you've got a workforce here that's taken 30 years to build up. And if nothing's done, that'll be scrapped in the next 2 years.
I don't see why I should work 14 hours a day, some days, and pay half of that to the government.
The team of men that have worked on these penstocks here would be a great loss to the country as a whole.
Twizel is a kit-set village assembled in 1969 as a Ministry of Works town for the Upper Waitaki Power Scheme. Already past its peak of 6,000, the population's now down to 4,000. And as 1985, the end of the project, draws near, the fight has hotted up to save the town. Offers and counter-offers have been made by developers, but the government and the Mackenzie County have not yet been able to agree what to do with Twizel. But the more important question on the minds of project workers is, what work follows when this scheme is done? Steve Darling, 25, started as a labourer on Upper Waitaki. The project trained him as a mechanic. Steve's wife Gail, 23. She too is from a hydro family, and her son was born last Christmas at the Twizel maternity home. Alan Main, 28, one of the first apprentices. He was born in another project village, Kurau. Alan's father Jim has spent his life on hydro construction. Now 53 and an overseer, the Upper Waitaki will be finished before he's due to retire. Jim's daughter Glenda leaves for Cromwell this Christmas. Her husband's working now on the Clyde Dam. But Alan and Steve have decided to go further afield. They're trying their luck in Australia, and for the Mains and the Darlings, it means the end of a tradition. The scrapers and diggers have been reforming the landscape of the Upper Waitaki River for the past decade. They've been carving a system of canals and dams to harness the power potential of 3 massive headwater lakes. Three power stations built, 2 more, Ohau B and C, still to go. When the last concrete is poured on Ohau C, the Upper Waitaki project will be done. That's 1985, a year before the Lower Waitaki scheme is due to start. The workers here want more than a penciled promise on the National Power Plan. They want the government to make a decision on Lower Waitaki now. They want to move downstream to establish the plant and build the new project town of Duntroon as this scheme winds down. But research is still going on to make Lower Waitaki a multi-purpose project, taming the river as well as protecting the fishing and opening up farmland. The power planners say they can't justify bringing the Lower Waitaki scheme forward just to solve the problems of a workforce. And that creates problems for Jim Main, who builds the giant pipes that direct water through the turbines.
The paint that is there is a special type.
He's ahead of schedule, and that's a mixed blessing, for it means his work is running out, with no certain project to go to before he retires.
When you've done 21 years for a firm, they sort of drop you out like that as bad news. And particularly when you've only, you've got, say, maybe 3 or 4 years left to retirement, I think it'd be a pretty poor attitude for any department to take.
Alan, Jim's son, is a leading hand, keeping the concrete mixer turning and the trucks on the road. He grossed $25,000 this year, half of that in overtime.
There's probably only sufficient work for me here for 2 years at the very most. So they're either going to ship me out somewhere else, up to North Island, or somewhere I don't want to go, or I make a move, and that's what I've done. I've just decided to go and have a go.
Steve Darling works the opposite shift with Alan.
Grass is always greener on the other side, sort of thing. Like I say, well, I'm working here very long hours and paying very big tax, which I do not like.
And you think Australia is going to give you a better economic deal?
Well, I'm hoping to, yeah.
By way of lower taxes?
By way of lower taxes, yeah.
These men find it hard to accept that New Zealand hydro construction can't be speeded up just to keep them in work.
Well, they're going to lose all their top tradesmen, supervisors, engineers. 1986 is 5 years away. There's no way in the world guys are going to hang around that long here. They've been earning.
Well, it's rather sad. I mean,
Max Smith, project engineer, boss since 1960.
And we all work together, and it's sad to see that all being dissipated. Where people like Mains and Darling, we've grown these boys from apprentices to now they're real first-class men. And it's worth a lot to the country to keep them rather than have us train them to go to Australia.
You feel very bitter, all right, over the years that you've put a lot of work into training personnel and caring for the job as the way it should be cared, and to see it completely destroyed or wiped out.
It seems to me that there are wider reasons than the hard-nosed economic reasons and the hard-nosed power planning requirements to justify starting in the lower Waitaki for the social reasons and to keep a well-trained and a well-tried and a workforce that has performed well. We should keep that together. It's worth a lot to the country.
Alan Main's loss is a lifestyle that allows him recreation many in the city envy. Skin diving, hunting, and he flies his own plane.
Well, so without a doubt, for the first 2 or 3 months, I'm going to want to come home again, want to come back. I already know I'm going to have that sort of problem, you know.
Other project workers will be landing new jobs after Christmas. Half a dozen chippies went as a work team to Australia a few months ago. If that trend sets in, the project bosses fear they could have to recruit to finish the job. 250 have run out of work or left in the last year. Twizel expects to lose a quarter of the town by 1983. Irishman Drive, a ghost street in Twizel. These houses were moved in 12 years ago at the rate of 1 a day, an instant community stamped on the Mackenzie Plains. Now the houses are empty, the workers have moved on, and while the fight continues to save Twizel in some shape or form, these houses are the first outward sign that a community is being dismantled. And other streets too are decaying as uncertainty produces its own domino-like collapse. The high school faces the new year with the prospect of recruiting and training half its staff. That's worrying Twizel parents who also see the prospects of work for their kids drying up. The Christmas parade for the youngsters hides uncertainty for the parents. Next Christmas, Gail Darling could be in a mining town in Queensland.
It's going to be hard to leave Twizel because my son was born here in Twizel, and in a few years, if we come back this way, just be a paddock, no home, maternity hospital, or it'd be hard for him to believe that he was born in a paddock sort of thing,
Steve Darling is finding it just as hard to leave a lifestyle that allows him a round of golf most afternoons with his mates.
I don't think you'd ever get a more friendlier club than the Twizel Golf Club here. When you're on the golf course, everybody's even, and it's a mighty place to play golf.
Got it this time.
For Steve and Gail, the move to Australia is something they might have done one day. The project girl had to be talked into it. Do you think you're going to have any regrets? about moving?
Yes, I think I will. I'd like to see this place kept, even if it's only a few streets, you know.
Your family, for the first time, will break up, won't
Yeah.
it? How do you think you'll feel about that?
Oh, it's going to be really sad leaving everyone. It's going to be hard. I don't know how I'll handle it. I really don't.
Steve and Alan's farewell to Twizel was in the finest traditions of a project party. The hangi was laid not with stones in the Maori way, but with iron bolts. It's a mixture of cold beer, 25 dozen provided by the hosts, plenty of food and swapping memories, all photographed to take to Australia. Those the Darlings and Mains are leaving behind are waiting to see the reaction of a new Minister of Works, Derek Quigley. A champion of private enterprise, will he hasten the move to use contractors on hydro construction? Energy Minister Bill Birch has said there will be a decision on the future of the town by Christmas, but after 4 years of talking, Twizel will not be surprised if it doesn't come.